Fine. So in the first module that we have discussed about WS addressing, so we have come across the process of security, how it can be encompassed into SOA framework. So that is the ultimate aim of this chapter. So what are all the components are helping for it? So first one we have seen yesterday, WS addressing. So how these services are identifying themselves, or how a consumer is identifying a service, or the services are supplying the corresponding service towards the required customer, right? Required end user. So how about their communication? All those things we have seen as a overlay, right? So yesterday we have seen. Today, the second section, still we are going to penetrate the next level. So to get into that section, we'll have a recap of our yesterday's session through MCQs. So which of the following statement is incorrect related to BPEL? They have asked about which one is incorrect, right? I think you have not practiced BPEL. I will explain here because that would not be a content, because I have focused on this one that it has to be taught. Okay. See, I will suggest you students, you try to have a flavor on this BPEL. Since you don't have a laboratory for this subject, please install and work on this, right? So at least for one program, okay, at least for one program, once you understand the flavor of this BPEL, you will start using it regularly. Okay, so much more useful, and it would be a very good exhibiting market for your project also, right? So I suggest you to use that. How flavor you are in UML, right? That will talk about your object-oriented analysis and design. That is a old one, right? How flavor you are in SOA, right? See, OOAD trends are going day by day. Okay, now the trend is SOA combined with our Agile. Okay, I think you know about agility, Agile programming, or software development lifecycle. What we are following in corporate, in practice, is Agile development, right? Agile is coincided with my SOA only. So I'll suggest you, come out of your OOAD, start learning your SOA effectively. For that, the best modeling language will be helpful for you is this BPEL. So practice it, right? Parallelly, in agility, I will suggest you. I found most of the students are learning a lot in through LinkedIn Learning or other e-learning forums. Just try for in TCS Ion. You have a Jira, right? Jira. This is the uh, agility agile development software from TCS, right? What they are following in the framework. So Jira, right? So try to have certification on that. That will give you a bridge for this SOA very easily, right? That these two things that you have to learn parallelly. Now you are learning in the course SOA. Better to learn Jira parallelly. That will help you uh, even for your placements, right? If you when you are going for your campus interviews, so convey that you have completed a certification in Jira. They felt very happy, right? So you have questions related to SOA and Jira alone. You don't have questions from any other domains. So have a flavor on that. Okay. So ultimately, for this question, the first 3 points are complete. Could be the fact. Data functions in BPL support process data and control flow. Remember that I have shown you like a flow chart. Just a drag and drop. It's enough. So both process and control, everything can be represented very easily in the BPL. BPL includes techniques for error handling and scope transaction. Fault management, I have shown you, right? Fault management. Likewise, I could be able to produce those things also. BPL uses web services for standards to assemble and decompose our process. Service decomposition, right? That can be happened over through BPEL. So first 3 are facts related to BPEL. Which of the following common messaging protocol is used with XML in BPEL? Right, messaging protocol. We are seeing layer by layer now. Okay, we are seeing layer by layer now. Till now, among these options, we have seen only WS addressing, coordination, and transaction. These are all the things that we will be seeing when you are going to work with the probably fifth and sixth modules of this chapter. Okay, ultimately, all these people will support forward these three, along with these three, some more components are there. All those things will constitute this messaging protocol, right? Even the topic what we are going to see today, reliable messaging, so that is also will be the part of this. They have not given in this option, right? But the WSRM is also the part of the messaging protocol only. Which of the following is the language standard for web service interaction? Okay, web service interaction. So they have asked about language standard. So ultimately, this is what I have conveyed. So for web service interactions, you have to learn BPEL, right? See, this BPEL, you have the process of the complete process of analysis and design can be performed. Not alone that you could able to interface with Java, and you could able to move for starting from the basic consumption of creation of service, consumption of service, right? That can be plugged with my analysis also. So you the scope for research here, I'll tell you, right? The scope for research here is you try to develop a plugin for NetBeans or IBM Eclipse such a way that it will give you some sort of analytics. Okay, so the analytics will give how these services are being utilized effectively. So how Amazon is having a sentimental analysis, right? So how many users are using this? What are all the positive reviews? What are all the negative reviews? Likewise, for your application, you can create your own analytics page, right? So that can be done through a simple plugin, which could be incorporated into either in NetBeans IDE or IBM Eclipse, right? You could have a try on that, right? That could be a part of your work, final project work that you could be able to try. Next, so this is one already we have seen in our WSDL. The reason to talk about this here is yesterday, I think in the last 10 minutes, we have rushed about the tags, whatever we have studied in our WS addressing. It was related with that. Okay. So the object which is used to describe the data, right? Nothing but types, what type of data, right? Single type or composite type that can be identified through this. So it's a part of WSDL, but it would be mapped with my WS addressing. Which of the following essential object in WSDL is used to support the message transfer, right? Message transfer. That's a very important content here. Message transfer. So bus is nothing but collection of services. Type, will talk about the data type. So ultimately the odd man out is binding, right? So I think you remember WS binding. You could able to remember the tag there. So binding will be used to, or will be used as a representation for my message transfer, right? So this could be the tag that they will use there. See, all these tags are generated in the WSL program. You don't need to worry about that. If you have strong enough to run over on this, you can create the WSDL for your application by using these tags. So explicit programming is also possible. Otherwise, leave it to the IDE. IDE will generate your corresponding entry, right? So that's the point here. Good. So this could be the next level orientation in our security. Okay. So reliability, right? The feature of reliability. So we are all talking about quality of service again and again. Quality of service. Reliability is an important parameter here. Okay. Reliability is an important parameter here. Ultimately, the reliability could be checked on both the ends. That's very important. Okay. Reliability could be checked on both the ends. That's very, very important. not only on one end, on both the ends, right? The communication medium will have lot of interceptions, lot of security threats will be there. Okay, lot of security threats will be there. But what are all the security threats which are focusing on this reliability? That's also I'll show you at the end. So while we are going to create the application, or how to measure the performance of my application, that can be done through this reliability also. So pertaining to web service, how effective this web service is, one of the quality parameter that they will measure is reliability. Okay, so to support this factor of reliability only, WSRM or WS reliability or WS reliable messaging. So that's the content that we are going to see today. So we will be running over on that, on all those content slowly. Okay. So we have seen some of the components in this already. Okay. So we are letting into the security slowly, right? Yesterday we have talked about some of the terms of security, but today we will be seeing some additional terms pertaining to security, right? So the term reliability is going to play a vital role here. How could I able to check with them, right? How could I able to comments with my reliability? Yesterday in the presentation I have talked about endpoints. Okay, so endpoints, as well as one more content that what I have seen, map. Okay, map, message address parameters. So these two people will help me a lot in this aspect, but I could able to customize them and map it for my corresponding environment. So that is the main case. Okay, so this reliability, this reliable messaging, this could be a protocol here or a component of a protocol here that will help me when services are going to communicate, what is happening actually between the service communication, service to service communication, what is going to happen between them actually, right? Otherwise, if I want to visualize how it would be, that is what we are going to see. After understanding the visualization, what are all the threats will occur here, how can I protect this, right? That could be the mechanism that we are going to see them. So reliability is one of the service parameter or quality of service factor which is ready to measure the quality of my web service, right? Where I will use my reliable messaging. Okay, where I will use my reliable messaging, especially the reliable messaging lies between my security and transactions, because reliable messaging is mandatory for all these people, not only for security and messaging. Might be they have given in the same color, right? So they are it represents that they are the same layer, but reliable messaging is mandatory for even for discovery, even for contract. Okay, so overall, when message is passed towards the business process, reliable messaging will be involving in all these people. There won't be any difference. Okay, so that could be the orientation of this image. And I want to bring out some other terms related to reliable messaging, because we could not able to go into it directly, because what is the purpose of learning WS reliable messaging? So we must know that, because this WS reliable messaging is readily dependable on policy, transfer, event handling, and enumeration. Actually, so this could be like a stack, right? Already we have seen addressing. It is only for identification purpose. Okay, addressing is only for identification purpose. After identification, I have to perform my communication. How I have to communicate, that will depend upon this all these the layers which are available in the stack. Okay, so enumeration is nothing but, see, for every WSDL that was customized. That's what the term enumeration. So normally the enumeration is nothing but the user defined data type. Here user defined WSDL for each and every service communication. SOAP request to SOAP response, right? So next one is event handling. Transfer. How about the role of transport layer here? So we will see about a TLS and SSL here. We will see it in the forthcoming modules. So policy, right? Policy is nothing but how about my, or it could be like list of rules, how I have to communicate. That's what my policy is. How these things are adapted in my reliable messaging. That is what we are going to see in the subsequent environment. So at most, we came to the introduction slide. So reliable messaging is a component of my communication protocol, okay, or a messaging protocol. Likewise, you could able to consider. So especially where I will employ this. So likewise, they have given. So I could able to use between distributed applications, irrespective of any type of SAS, PAS, or IaaS. Okay, irrespective of any type of the content, it will ready to work. That is what the term, regardless of component, system, or network failures. So we talk about both software, so maskable interrupts and non-maskable interrupts. That's what the term is ready to convey here. Network failures. Okay. Transport independent. Okay. Transport independent. What does it mean? Transport independent. Whatever the role that you are going to use, either SOAP or RESTful web service. Okay. It will ready to work. Still, if you come down one more level, either you are going to follow your TCP IP or TCP UDP, right? You could be able to remember virtual circuit or data graph. So it will ready to work for that. What are all the, this could be my, what do you call, ready-made tags which are available for my reliable messaging. At most once, at least once, exactly once, in order. These are completely related to my service level interaction pattern, what we have seen in our unit 3. Okay, at most once, at least once, exactly once. This is about delivery of messages or exchanging of messages. At most once. So that represents that at most once will be more opt for my delivery. So at least once means whenever I am going to work with the fault management, I have to use this tag at least once, exactly once. Okay, it should not communicate more than once. In that case, exactly once. In order. What is the meaning of this in order? Right? It could have some successor and the predecessor when they are going to perform the reliable messaging, right? It could not be able to flow directly. It could have a successor and a predecessor. So between them only it will travel. That's what the term in order. So like how our tree traversal that you could be able to remember, left node right. That's what the term in order. Likewise here also, like my node, the corresponding message will be there. I could have a successor message will be there. I could have a predecessor message will be there. So that's what the term which is ready to work with. These 4 tags are really very important pertaining to reliable messaging. Right? How these can be transformed while we are coming for my programming, I'll show you. Right, WS reliability and WSRM, reliable messaging, that is WS reliability. Both are ready to work with, or this could be like a sandwich. Okay, this could be like a sandwich. So WS reliability will give my theoretical standards, how I have to deliver. Okay, how I have to deliver. So between 2 endpoints, remember in addressing, we know what is the endpoint. We have learned that. Both the specifications use positive acknowledgements to ensure reliable delivery. Okay, positive acknowledgements. So what does the term positive acknowledgements? Go back to your computer networking that you could be able to remember. Even I will refresh when I'm going to show you the subsequent slides. Okay, it will not. That means here, because it is completely based on thread based. That is the reason why negative acknowledgements and which are ready to generate no acknowledgements, all those things will be ignored. Okay, so that could be the main case. I'll tell you why. So fault handling, exception management is built in within this. So WS reliability is completely based upon SOAP. So the standards, whatever whichever is applicable for SOAP is applicable for WS reliability also. Okay, so the reliable messaging, what it will provide for me, right? Soap binding can be given. That means what we are going to work with for RESTful web services, I could able to give this future effectively, right? Because for already for soap, we have a layer, right? So no need to work for that. Especially for RESTful web services, that this reliable messaging will give its full venue. What are all the scenarios or the situations where this reliable messaging is necessary, right? So that's what this slide will help you to understand. So how do customers today use reliable messaging? So how they are going for their dealership? So the points here are the bulleted points which are completely subtitled. See that most interactions are one way request for update. Okay, request for update. That's a very important term. Current solutions require customary retry logic. Okay, dealerships will not use vendor specific technology. So the ultimate thing is, see, I think what do you call, mm, to understand you in a better way, I think nowadays LEDs, right? LED TVs are coming, right? Even more LEDs or QLEDs, whatever may be the types of hardwares, you forget about that. Pertaining to software, most of the TVs nowadays emerging TVs are either it could be purely based on Android or purely based on patch wall, right? So you know what is patch wall? That nothing but the OS will be dedicated for the corresponding manufacturer, right? They have customized Android and they have renamed it. That's what their patch wall OS. But pertaining to Android, so I think I could not able to use that user manufacturer name. So for them, whenever the update is coming for the corresponding uh, uh, corresponding app, right? Ultimately, the update can be happen, right? Update can be happen if I am going to connect with my environment. But for patchwall categories, whenever the update is released by the manufacturer of the television, then only I could able to go for my update, right? So that could be the uh, difference that I could able to stretch it here. Here they are ready to focus both the points. Dealerships will not use vendor specific technology. That is what case 1. Whenever I am going to receive Android update, automatically OS update as well as app updates will happen. Right? That has to happen. Otherwise, request for update will be given only through the corresponding manufacturer. So for these cases, I need this reliable messaging scenarios. See, how I will send my update, how the companies are sending update for the corresponding device, right? How they are identifying each other. WS addressing is ready to help to identify the all the n number of users accessing that device, using that device. But how the corresponding update is happening, that can be done through this reliable messaging, right? So that could be the ultimate aim, and as well as the complications which are ready to bring over with the VPN are being completely void here. So that's also a major change. Okay. So as well as regarding standards, the next case study that you will be able to see regarding standards. So business to business supply chain. I am going to purchase something on the internet, right, through my vendor. Assume that we are going to use Amazon, right? In that case, I will talk to Amazon only alone, but Amazon could be the intermediate between the actual business person and us. Okay, I don't know from whom they are doing business, but while you are going to track the package, you could be able to find out the things are being shifted from this facility to that facility. That's all. Likewise, you will be getting your package tracking. They will not convey everything. In that case, the type of communications will be happened through these types of environment only. Complete supply chain management will come under this reliable messaging. So when I'm going to order the corresponding product, already they have the contract with them. So the corresponding the corresponding product supplier will submit will send his product to the Amazon facility. From the Amazon facility, it will come to the local Amazon facility. From the local Amazon facility, through a courier service, it will reach to us, right? This could be the complete channel. This could be the complete supply chain, right? This could be the complete supply chain from the manufacturer to the end user. It need to cross these many number of nodes in this supply chain, right? So among the nodes, if they want to communicate, what are all the channels that they will use? Assume that these are completely automated in that case, right? So how their communications need to happen, that can be decided based upon these types of uh, reliable messaging, right? So here already they have established the communication. Okay, they have established the communication. No need to go and verify each and every time for performing the security check. That is the main reason. Already they have established the communication. A secure channel is available. That's the case. So that was have been given in a proper way, right? I think this diagram will give you a clear idea. Okay, so I think the diagram which is below the section, you have two diagrams in the chart. Check that you have the diagram which is in the below section. They are communicating through their native API, Java messaging service. Okay, so both the sites I'm having the same service only. JNI is available, Java messaging service or Java native interface is available. So how they are going to communicate mandatorily on both the sites, web service to web service or web service to client or client to client or client to service, whatever may be. These communications will happen via through same types of endpoints only, but there see that in reliable messaging, WSRM, that represents WS reliable messaging. So WSRM1, WSRM2. So already there has been a predefined one. Both are entirely different. For example, for web service, weather update web service, I am accessing from somewhere else. So myself is weather update client, right? Weather update client. So weather update service will be available in some other server. So in that case, these two people will be communicating via through their WSRM1. That is the thing. Okay. So WSRM1. So client will be identified using WSRM1. Service will be identified using WSRM2. These WSRMs are registered in the centralized services. That's the reason why guaranteed message delivery. Both source and destinations are being verified. Okay. Whoever having native interface, those people also going to communicate. That is the drawback in the second section that you could able to see. Whoever having that is JNI or JMS API, they could able to communicate very easily, right? So that could be the drawback in the second section. So this is what the actual way how the label messaging will go through. These are all based upon my tags. First, I have to create sequence request. Okay. So how this complete communication will happen. So when client is accessing the service, how the service is given to the client. That's the actual scenario. How these things are going to happen. While invoking what is happening, while that means while request what is happening, while reply what is happening. That's what have been given separately, right? Ultimately, both are same. So create sequence request through the tag it will communicate. Create sequence response through the tag it will communicate. Connection will be established. Next, service request will be passed. Your request is received. For that, sequence acknowledgement will be given, right? So once it is going to be over, it will terminate the corresponding request is received. Next, while it is going to perform reply, again it will go for create sequence request. The same procedures will be followed as it is. So this could be something very in-depth explanation that you could able to see that. So when create sequence method is being passed, before that you could able to see establish protocol preconditions that you could able to remember virtual circuit, right? Stream oriented transfer. So for that, it will ready to come over that. See that identifier is nothing but your URL. Please remember URL. So what I am doing, I am ready to pass my URL. Nothing but RESTful web service, right? RESTful web service. How they are communicating. So whenever I am going to face my interruption in the service that can be identified through my message number or message ID. Remember in our WS addressing, okay, that message number could be identified. So in the sequence acknowledgement, that we could be able to see that 1 and 3 are being received. By that, endpoint A will assume that okay, the number 2 message has been disrupted. So through that again it will send along with that. So even for that also it will send the acknowledgement. This is the procedure, right? So I think you could be able to remember the term piggybacking, nothing but has been fabricated here as the basic mechanism that what we have see over there. So programmatically, so how could I be able to do that? So till now we have seen theory, right? Till now theory. So how about the programming? Even if you want to enable, these options are available in my NetBeans IDE when I'm going to use. See, if you install BPEL by default, all these options will be enabled for you. That's it. That's not a very big case here, right? As well as if you are going to work with UI, yesterday I have shown you SOAP UI, right? So the thing which is in the down, which is talking about SOAP UI, the first one is nothing but that you are going to work with the NetBeans IDE, right? Both are being illustrated here. So WSRM, that if you want to enable it, you have to enable it, right? So that's the reason why this text box. So just you put that tick mark, automatically it will enable. Okay, that acknowledgement to expiry, all those things that you could be able to fix up. So acknowledgement to not necessary, because automatically it will generate its acknowledgement number. Expiry you can fix, right? What could be the round trip time that you could be able to fix within this time? If I am not going to receive the acknowledgement, assume that something happened for service reply. So somewhere else interruption was happened. I could be able to assume, right? Even the service made down, right? Service system made down. So in that case, I could be able to identify that either data will be interrupted or the remote hardware may fail. So likewise, you could be able to come to a conclusion. So round trip time that you could be able to specify over there. So that's what the case with the NetBeans IDE. So here that you could be able to use that. So this could be a tool that could be incorporated with my any platform, right? So here already they have installed .NET in their system. Okay, so that is the reason why when they are going to open their UI, SOAP UI, this MB8 broker is nothing but that could be the third-party tool being used for this. So when they are going to choose the corresponding reliable messaging, they have a default reliable messaging, nothing but the standard provided by W3C. Okay, W3C. Otherwise, .NET have its own WCF. Okay, so it will use it either if you want to use for use the open standard or you want to use for the proprietary standard. That is up to your wish. Still some more in detail, people who are having flavor with their network, right? Still some more in detail. Everything will happen on application layer only, right? Everything will happen on application layer only. So here the diagram will talk about for a specific application, right? Narada brokering. So nothing but that could be the service broker for this, okay, or the resource broker for this. So how they are communicating. So what about when fault management is going to happen? That is also being represented here. Okay, so reliable messaging could be handled. How it will be handled after communication is being established, when possible number of positive acknowledgements are that I am ready to receive, that can be managed through my WSRM, right? So it could be able to see 2 and 4. So they are all the HTTP request and response from the 2436. So the next layer you could be able to see, right? SOAP has been the main layer. Below SOAP you have a RESTful web service. Below RESTful web service, what you have? The application layer protocols, right? The application layer protocols also being mentioned over there. Here nothing but HTTP that we are using, right? And you could be able to see 4 and 5 will talk about my acknowledgement message. If no acknowledgements are received, negative acknowledgement, normal acknowledgement, right? Any exception has been thrown, that is also being identified very easily, right? So this could be a example that will an illustrative diagram that will talk about both these specifications, SOA based as well as a product based. So this could be the one that will talk about how can I extend my service. Right? How can I extend my service for an application environment? So already I have shown you this diagram, right? So how that has been given in architecture basis. Okay, WSRM. This could be the region which has been marked with a green color region, right? So that could be the places where devices are available. Services are available in Narada brokering, that you could be able to see that. How that brokering environment and the devices are being communicating. In between that, you could be able to see 3 different clouds are available. The communication is happening through the reliable messaging protocol only, right? So I could able to extend my reliable messaging protocol, right? So it could be like it will ready to replace your VPN at your place. That's the main case that this diagram will talk about. So this could be the these are all the tags that what we have seen already, right? So how it will be mapped for a specific application. Here we have given the terms. So even I could go for XML source also. If I choose a XML source, it will show me the WSDL file. I have chosen HTML. So the tags are given as a corresponding text box that I need to enter the data, right? So WS security we will see later, only for reliable messaging, right? So what are all the things that you want to convey, you could be able to convey through this message box. So and also what are all the tags that I need to use, that is also I could be able to configure. These are all available in your NetBeans IDE. Okay, what are all the tags? Body to, from, fault to, reply to, relates to, all these things are the tags. Yesterday we have seen, right, required true or enabled. So that could be mentioned through these text boxes. That's it. This is the explicit way of programming. Create sequence. Okay, explicit way of doing programming. So I have given this here. Explicit way of doing the programming. So what could be the address I am communicating? WSA address, right? So first layer is addressing. Second layer is my reliable messaging. See, addressing tag is available within the reliable messaging. So towards whom I have to send the acknowledgement. So that could be the case. I am creating the sequence. So create sequence. So communication must be established prior. So this could be the create sequence is a tag here again, right? Likewise, sequence acknowledgement, that's also a tag. So create sequence acknowledgement. So this could be the case that it need to be. See, you have not seen the actual acknowledgements which are happening in the real network, but through WSDL you could able to see these acknowledgements, what do you call, the round trip delay, everything that you could able to see through this WSDL while we are going to work with the web services. That much powerful this SOA is. Okay, so termination, I'm closing my connection. I could be able to use this sequence acknowledgement, right? So this could be the complete WSDL generated for a service communication, right? In that everything will be there. Create sequence, response, close sequence, right? So everything available, nothing but for this diagram. For this diagram, what are all necessary, right? This could be the actual mechanism. The corresponding mechanism has been generated as a WSDL file here. That's all. Okay. So what are all the threats? These are all the threats. Spoofing and hijacking. These are all the threats will happen in your thing. So spoofing already I have talked about. Interception, right? So hijacking, I think you know about that. The data will start from the reliable source, but ultimately it will reach the unreliable destination. That's what hijacking. So how to overcome that, right? Simple mechanism. I can employ digital signature. That's what X.509 certificates. Or I have to go for my Kerberos certificates. Source and destination must register in the centralized service. If they want to perform data transfer, if they want to perform service transfer, service request and reply, they will come and report in the Kerberos server. Or if while they are going to submit their request or response, in that case, the opposite party must validate their digital signature. That could be the model that we could able to project here. That's what the complete explanation. So this model will avoid these threats. Hijacking and spoofing can be eliminated. So the countermeasure for them is I could able to use digital signature or X.509 formal certificate. So that will be that. case. Thank you. If you have any explanations to be clarified again, post it in the chat.